Okay, you guys, so you know that I'm pretty opinionated and I have my views on things and I like to share those views because I think sometimes it's okay to give people a different viewpoint of stuff that they go along with just because everybody else is saying it and because that's what the world is screaming, and maybe they think that they would never do that, and so of course they formulate this really significant thought about it and they don't put a lot of thought into it. What I want to talk to you just briefly about is, number one, of course, it is smoking hot outside. If you have young children or animals, it is your responsibility. Newsflash, it's not difficult to figure that out. It is your responsibility 100% to not leave your animals in the car, and to certainly not leave your children in the car whenever it's super hot outside. Here's the thing. Now, there are parents who intentionally leave their kids in the car, okay? We can all agree that this is 100% super irresponsible. They do it on purpose because they want to run in and get involved in things that they probably shouldn't be involved in, and they don't put a little thought into what their baby is going to have to go through strapped to the car with no air. Correct? Okay, but did you know that the majority of the time, okay, here's where I'm going to get a little heated, okay? So the majority of the time when these babies are getting left in the car and they're having to have the windows smashed out, they're not doing it intentionally. Now, you're sitting back as a parent or a grandparent and you're like, I can never in a million years ever imagine leaving my child in the car. That's because you haven't done it. And guess what? Before, these people who have had their babies have to be smashed out of the car because they've forgotten them in the back seat, they never thought they could either. And so what I've read is they should not be able to have children. There should be rules attached to being a parent. Once again, these are not bad parents. These are doctors and lawyers and educated people who are full of compassion and love and mercy and complete and utter responsibility for their children. Whew. Goodness, I had to get that out. Now, do a little bit of research before you start running your mouth about what bad parents these people are for forgetting their children. The key word is forgetting. Okay, now you might think, how could they forget? Clearly their children are not a priority. Bullcrap! I call bullcrap. Do your research. It's the same exact reason while you've got on your mind when you leave for work. Now, this is just me, what I found out researching the topic. See, I didn't just come up with an opinion and then decide to start blasting it all over social media. No, I actually researched what happens when these parents forget their children. It's the same thing when you get in your car and you drive the same exact path that you drive every single day, and you know that you've got to stop and pick up milk, and you get all the way home and you don't even hardly remember the drive because you're in robot mode, and you get home and you're like, crap, I was supposed to do something. Now, you may sit back and say, Jennifer, a gallon of milk and a life are two totally different things. Again, go research it. They're really not. Whenever the situation is flip-flopped and mom's supposed to have the baby and dad's supposed to have the baby and babysitter's supposed to have the baby and they didn't that day, they called in sick, and just a few little changes happen in a parent or caregiver's day, it can cause them to slip into this mindless driving, and they truly, completely forget. Okay? So, again, with all the love I have in my heart, woosah. Do some research on this stuff, you guys. It makes you look uneducated when you just do a bunch of this stuff, but you don't really know what you're talking about. And I think you're pretty dad-blasted intelligent, and you're pretty stinking smart, and you're valuable, and you're worth the time it takes to figure out what it is that you're talking about and be able to speak with some actual knowledge on the subject versus just a bunch of emotions. Now, go do research on what happens in the brain of a parent who has forgotten their child in the back seat. And then speak with wisdom whenever you reply to folks on social media or in person. This gives you some weight in what you say. People will want to know what you think about it because they know you're not just flailing at the mouth with some mumbo jumbo because you can't control your emotions. Okay? Now, having said all that, I just wanted to encourage everybody. Now, I know. People are going to post all kinds of suggestions, and that's great. But I want to encourage you personally, if you are the caregiver of a child or an animal, whatever, that you've got to remember. I am highly encouraging you, no matter how much you love your child, no matter how dedicated and committed you are to your child, to come up with a system that will not allow you to leave your child in the car when you accidentally forget. We're human. Our schedules are way too full. We've got a bunch of crap on our plate. Your child's life, your grandchild's life, your puppy and your kitten's life is valuable. So whether it's that you strap something, just a ribbon to the steering wheel, when you know you've got something, you've got to remember, whether it's a baby or an animal, do something. Put something in place today that will not allow you to become a statistic, that will not allow you to become that which everyone is mindless gabbing about. Okay? Your babies are important, your animals are important, your life is important, and do your research before you run your mouth. Love you guys. Word.